And now for our drash, we're so happy to be hearing first from Hannah, then Rachel, Lila, and then Abby.
Shabbat Shalom. This past week, we celebrated Tu B'Shvat, which is a holiday that connects Judaism to the environment. This Shabbat, we read Beshalach, which covers one of the most memorable moments of the Exodus story, the parting of the sea. At first glance, this portion and holiday have nothing in common. However, upon further analysis, we realize that Beshalach is the perfect portion to inspire climate change activism. The Israelites escape Egypt, only to find that they are being followed by the Pharaoh and his army, who want to bring them back into slavery. In this time of uncertainty and crisis, the Israelites look to Moses for guidance, but Moses looks to God for help and leadership. Upon Moses' call, God replies saying, "Why do you cry out to me? Tell the Israelites to go forward," telling Moses to take initiative himself and not always rely on God for help. The Israelites continued to be doubtful, but when they needed to escape most, the sea was parted. Because of the partnership between God and the people, the Israelites were able to cross safely.
The rabbis tell a story about the moments before Moses splits the sea. In this story, the Israelites stood at the edge of the sea waiting for it to part. However, not wanting to wait for God to do it for him, Nachshon just walked straight in. It is not until the water reaches Nachshon's nose that the sea splits. Nachshon is not afraid to be the first person to take initiative, a quality we lack in modern day. That same initiative God tells Moses to take in this week's portion. No person wants to be the first to step up and fight for something difficult, no matter how necessary it is. As we celebrate Tu B'Shvat, the challenges of climate change are at the forefront of our minds. For decades, people have taken the easy way out. Sometimes we wait for others to jump in first, and sometimes we ignore it altogether. People have disregarded climate change under the pretense that it would be too expensive and difficult to address. However, these narratives focus too much on short-term rewards rather than long-term sustainability. In order to continue living as we know it, CO2 emissions must be cut drastically. And in order for this to happen, we need to be leaders in our own communities and be willing to take the risk to pioneer change.
There are many issues that people in our modern world face as a result of climate change that requires the kind of leadership Nachshon shows. In our own government, there has been a lack of accountability on the issue of climate change. In 2017, former President Donald Trump withdrew the United States from the Paris Climate Accord. This withdrawal became officially effective in 2020, but just 1 week ago on Inauguration Day, President Biden signed an executive order allowing the U.S. to rejoin the agreement. This action was a step that was greatly needed to show the people of the United States the importance of climate change. Climate change is a huge issue that a large portion of the population are concerned about, but many feel they can do nothing to help. This is a global issue that no one individual can face. This is why governmental action and global unity is so important, because through actions such as the Paris Climate Accord, great progress can occur. Governmental action does not just have to be on a national or international level. State and city legislation can also be very effective when it comes to reducing carbon emissions. New York City is one of the top greenhouse gas emitting cities in the world. In our city legislation, reducing emissions can have a great effect and also set examples for other cities and countries to pass the climate legislation. While the process of passing legislation can feel very remote to everyday citizens like us, without the pressure we put on our elected officials through lobbying and protesting, none of these bills would pass and none of these international agreements would be negotiated.
Rachel, Lila, Hannah, Catherine, Nati, and myself make up the Central Climate Initiative with the guidance of Rabbi Hilly Haber. So far, Central Climate Initiative has hosted a live stream series called Let's Talk Climate on the Central Synagogue Facebook page, where we interview experts about climate change. You're welcome to go back and watch those episodes on the Central Synagogue Facebook page. We have also partnered with Dayenu, a Jewish climate organization, on a phone banking campaign to encourage voters in the past presidential election to vote with the climate in mind. We are now advocating for the passage of the Renewable Rikers Act in City Council. This act will turn Rikers Island into a renewable energy source. On a state level, we are also working with New York Renews to pass the Climate and Community Investment Act, which will provide funding to get New York off fossil fuels by 2050. We decided to begin Central Climate Initiative to address climate change, an issue we are all passionate about. Our goal as Central Climate Initiative is to educate you, our community, about the incredibly important issue of climate change and support bold climate action. Arguably, the most important thing we do is provide action steps so you can get involved in combating climate change. Tonight, we are asking you to visit our website, www.centralsynagogue.org/climate, to sign up for our email list under the Get Involved page, and choose to complete one of the listed action steps. You can choose to be eco-friendly at home, or send a pre-written letter to your member of the City Council showing your support for the Renewable Rikers Act, or to your state representative showing your support of the Climate and Community Investment Act. If you want to take it one step further, start the chain effect and ask 3 other people to do the same. Although climate change can often feel overwhelming, we all have the chance to be like Nachshon and be brave enough to take climate action. We stepped into the sea and are taking action, and so can you. Shabbat Shalom.